toxic masculinity.
That. Anyway, so that is it for the news. I would love to take your questions and your comments. Well, we got a little super chat here from Frank James, where he's just provided me with a cat emoji. And he's also written, when I'm running the country, politicians will get an apartment in the capital, each enough food to live, clothing to represent the country in a respectful manner, and a bus pass. Look, I don't think that congressmen should be paid very little. I think they should be paid a significant amount of money. But I don't think that they should get stock options and things like that, especially because they're congressmen and because they, produce favorable legislation to credit card companies or whatever. That's something that happened with Pelosi. I mean, there's a lot of ways that these politicians corruptly get rich, and I don't think that they should corruptly get rich. I think they should just make money. Get their income. My wife is writing me here. Let's see here. Okay, she's clicked the Frank James thing. All right. So, yep, I got that, darling. I got that one. I got it. All right. Jesus says God writes kickbacks. Yeah. I mean, if you guys haven't seen my my video called what is it called? It's about Democrat corruption. Let me see. Let's see. Mr. Reagan. What do I call this? What do I call this video? We're gonna find out in 1 second. One moment, please. I think it's got Hillary Clinton on the front of the thumbnail. It's called The Democrat Crime Problem. I call it The Democrat Crime Problem. And it only got 55,000 views, and it should have gotten a lot more. Now I'm getting an unbelievably small number of views. Like my last video's got 22,000 views. The one before that, 22,000 views. The one before that, 17,000 views. That's like the lowest I've ever gotten since like I first started this, like my first year. Let's see. The one before that, 22,000. The one before that, 46. The one before that, 27,000. The one before that, 34. The one before that, 18. The one before that, 24. The one before that, 31. The one before that, 27, 18, 35, 28. So YouTube has decided apparently that my videos aren't allowed to be shown to anyone but my subscribers. And so my view count just went whoosh, right? Because I have nobody. I think it's 97% subscribers are watching my video and 3% unsubscribed people are watching my videos. So nobody, I mean, it's essentially impossible to find my videos if you're not already subscribed to my channel, probably unless somebody shares it with you or something like that. It's pretty terrible. Nicole C. writes, all your videos should be viral. You speak truth bombs daily. Well, thank you. One thing I try to do on this channel, one thing I've realized that is necessary to be done as a conservative is to say things that are true that tend to be ignored in our society, and because they're ignored, society is going down the wrong path. Like, for instance, this idea that society is systemically racist and white people are racist. Well, not only is that not true, but if it's not true, then why are black people disproportionately poor? Right? They're always saying black people are disproportionately poor, and that's because white people are racist. Okay, well, we have to uncover the truth behind why black people are poor disproportionately. And so I have several theories about that, but the primary theory I have is that they're racist against white people. If you've got a group that's disproportionately poor and they live alongside a group that's disproportionately wealthy, and the disproportionately poor group refuses to interact with the disproportionately wealthy group, you're never going to get out of poverty, guys. Like, it's going to be much, much more difficult for you. So that's a truth that most black people are racist. That's something that's nobody ever says in this country. And it's devastating, I think. It's devastating more even to black people than it is to white people in this country. But it's devastating to everybody, because we're divided and it's terrible and you get all these like burning down buildings and, these stupid riots and everything. Another truth I like to mention is that there's this idea that every culture in the world is perfect and peaceful and amazing. The Muslims and the Chinese and everybody's just so perfect. Sub-Saharan Africans were always such good people. They're all so perfect. Native Americans never scalped anyone. They were so perfect. There's all this idea that every culture is perfect except for the evil white man. Evil white people are just the worst. And the truth is that, of course, it's nuanced. There was good white people. There was bad white people. There were good Native Americans. There were bad Native Americans. There was good Sub-Saharan Africans. There was bad Sub-Saharan Africans. So everywhere you go, there's good people and there's bad people. And I would say that white Europeans were probably disproportionately good, because we had the sort of ethical bulwark of Christianity stopping us from being as vicious as we might have been had we been atheistic or maybe more, believed in a more savage faith or something like that. A more vicious kind of religion that was much more violent. Christianity is a very peaceful religion, so we had that bulwark. And so I think that society was fortunate throughout the world that Europeans were the first that developed the ability to take over large sections of the planet. Because if it had been a different group, who knows how much violence would have occurred. But on top of that, I would like to say that even if you look at the damage that Europeans have done throughout the world, you have to balance that with the benefit that Europeans have provided to the world. And so I always mention that Europeans basically invented everything, and people hate when I say that. And one thing I've said that people seem to get particularly upset about is that I always say that Europeans invented the wheel. People seem to be very surprised by this and outraged by it. But that's true. Europeans invented the wheel. Look it up. It was developed in what is now considered Ukraine. The people who currently live in Ukraine are not necessarily the same people that lived there at the time. This was like 3000 BC, something like that, that the wheel was developed. But yeah, the wheel that was developed, a wheel and axle system for transportation, was developed in the region we now call Ukraine in about 3000 BC by Europeans. Look it up. It's true. It was never developed anywhere else on the planet. It's just developed there, as far as we know. And that's it. It shouldn't be controversial to state historical facts, but it is because of, the context of all the racial issues and stuff like that. All right, let's see here. Nathaniel has provided us with $5 again. Thank you, Nathaniel. He's written, Dems live by Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals. Republicans need to study it and learn how to combat each attack with equal ferocity, exposing their lies. I agree with you 100%. Not just rules for radicals. There's a lot of philosophy on the left, which is all about strategy about how to destroy conservatives and people that they don't like. It's not, I know, sweetheart. she sent me an image of your super chat. I don't have the articles open anymore, Valeria, so I can now just pay attention to the super chats. Yeah, I go on tangents a little bit, but I'll get to them. Right, so it's not just rules for radicals. There's lots of guides that they have about how to try to destroy, and a lot of it comes from, the communist ideas from the USSR, from Marx, stuff like that. They have a variety of playbooks, but yeah, a lot of what the Democrats want to do is to create racial tension in America. They want to create racial tension. They want to divide us. They don't want to unite us. You notice the Biden administration will always say, we have to unite together. We have to unite together. But then they do all of these things that are just absolutely vicious and that Republicans absolutely hate. Valeria writes, okay, I'm done then. She's on her way home. She's going to be a while. So Valeria is good trying to help. I know she is. Valeria is amazing. She's it's funny. I was watching some old TV show called Amazing Stories. You guys should check this out. It's called Amazing Stories. It was produced and it was written. Every story was written by Steven Spielberg. It's from like 1985 or something like that. Amazing. If you want to see a whole bunch of Spielberg movies, essentially, that you've never heard of before, go to NBC.com and watch Amazing Stories. It's all free. And it's fantastic. I mean, they're fantastic. And it's like a nostalgia bomb. If you want to go back to the 80s and relive your childhood and see a show you've probably never seen before, watch Amazing Story. I've been watching those. And at one point, there was this guy that said he got married. And this guy goes, I've never seen you so productive. You seem so happy. And he's like, yeah, man, marrying this woman really changed me. I feel so much better. I'm so much happier now. I have so much more energy. And I think it's true. Some people you get into relationships with and they kind of, even though you like them and you find them attractive and there's things you like about them, they do somehow make your life worse, I've noticed. But there's some people that you get involved with and, you like them, you find them attractive, you want to be around them and stuff, and they make your life a lot better. And yeah, Valeria has made my life way better, I have to say. I'm much, much happier now than I was, there's some benefits to being single. It's a bit of fun, and there's that hunt, there's that challenge. Actually, when I was first with Valeria, it was a little bit tough because I couldn't go hunting anymore. Hunting was such a big part of my life, and I couldn't hunt. It was awful, but I'm over that now. I'm good now. But if there's something that's really great, you give up the thing that was, you have to give up something good to get it. You give up the good thing and you go for the great thing. So that's my deal with Valeria. Let's see here. Eric Thiebold says she will beat him. Yeah, probably. Probably. Let's see here. Ethan Thompson writes, as a white man in the southern United States, I had several incidents where I have encountered racism. Many of my black friends have not actively experienced in the same way. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. Well, I mean, we've made it acceptable to... Thanks for the comment, Ethan. We've made it acceptable to be racist against white people. I mean, we do live in a racist country, but it's just racist against a group that the left doesn't recognize. It's racist against white people. I mean, systemically racist against white people. Systemically racist against white people. And look what's happened in the Biden administration. It's crazy. Frank James, toxic masculinity. We were kidding when we said you were fat last week. No, I'm quite fat now. I mean, much fat. But when I first started my show, you should watch my early videos of my show. I'm so skinny. I look like I'm 20 years old. Right? I'm 36 in those videos, but I look like I'm 20. You look at me now. I look my age. It's terrible. I'm 41. I look 41. It's awful. The chat thinks that you're losing weight too fast. Some think you're gaining too. Did you do your Archie Bunker homework? Yeah, I did. I actually did go and I watched those Archie Bunker things. The thing about Archie Bunker, I do like what he has to say to some degree, but what he has to say is meant to sound ridiculous. So the people who were writing that show were trying to show Archie Bunker as an idiot. Right, he's sort of the Homer Simpson of his day. So I actually don't like those because although he might be making a good point here and there, they are trying to make Meathead the one that's correct, and the daughter, his wife. They're trying to make them sound like the ones that are smart and right, and the wife as well. I think Edith, right? The wife is also a Democrat. They're all Democrats except for the one Republican, and they're always trying to make Archie Bunker sound wrong, and sound like an idiot, and sound like a bigot and terrible. It is a bit fun to watch those because it was in a day and age when you could say certain words on television that you can't say now, and so it's quite a lot of fun just to see that difference between that era and now, and how people didn't find things quite as offensive. Everything's, of course, offensive now. Ghostface Vanilla, you're back. Good to see you, Ghostface. He's right. Keep fighting the good fight. Well, I will try. I do think of it as a fight. I'll tell you what. I watched a video called Trigonometry. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's a British show on YouTube. Trigonometry. I highly recommend this show. And I watched a particular episode with a guy by the name of Calvin Robinson. Calvin Robinson is a new face for conservatism in the UK. He's half black. He's 100% Christian. And after the show Trigonometry, I went ahead and I wrote him on Twitter. And this is what I wrote. I caught you on Trigonometry. I'm very impressed. It was like listening to a half black British version of myself. And then I wrote a little laughing emoji. I wrote, I'm a conservative YouTuber in the United States. I have no good reason to reach out to you, actually, other than to merely connect. But I do believe that a day will become when we'll be able to help each other, maybe. I shall be visiting the UK probably in the fall. Perhaps we can meet up for tea. I used to live in the UK, and I did become a bit addicted to tea. I drink coffee mostly now, but black coffee. If you don't drink black coffee, but you want to start drinking black coffee, get Don Francisco Hawaiian Hazelnut Blend. It tastes just like Kona coffee, with like a hazelnut flavor, and it's absolutely... I have tons of friends who come over for coffee, and I don't maybe have cream or sugar, and I say, well, I don't really have cream, but I do, but the coffee is actually pretty good black. Why don't you try it? And every single one of them is like, I don't drink coffee black, but I will drink this coffee black. This is amazing. So this guy wrote back to me, thank you, always up for a cup of tea. But the reason I read this to you is because I then wrote, excellent, I'll let you know when I'm in town. I sometimes feel like we're in a war. It's always good to have like-minded men to call on. Both of our countries in crisis. Let me know if you ever need anything. And the guy wrote, it is a war and we're losing. We have a lot of ground to cover. And I just love that, right? Because this is a guy who's also a very prominent conservative, very, very intelligent. What's his name? Calvin Robinson? He's a new guy as far as I've never heard of him until the other day. Trigonometry, the episode with Calvin Robinson. Give it a watch if you can. The guy's awesome, and just the fact that he writes back, and I said, I often feel like we're in a war, and he writes, we are in a war, right? It's really weird. It's like we're all kind of on the same page, right? We're all perceiving the things in the same way, and I really do think we're like in a war, and we all do have to kind of keep fighting the good fight. That really, the analogy is totally apt. All right, this guy writes, John Buttjack. I don't know what that means, but it sounds vulgar, John. John Buttjack writes, circling back to your YouTube views thing, have you thought about opening an account on Rumble or any other YouTube knockoffs? Knockoffs. Yeah, I have done. Yeah, I mean, I have an account on Rumble. I post basically everywhere. The Rumble account hasn't done particularly well. Facebook has basically stopped paying everyone. Facebook used to pay people really, really well. Just as well as YouTube, if not better. I used to be censored a lot on Facebook, but I still was making quite a bit of money. But now I'm not making any money on Facebook. Facebook basically cut off all the money that you can make on that site. I can maybe make a fifth of what I used to make on Facebook. So I've kind of stopped posting there, but I should post more. This girl writes, the Eerie Fairy wrote, okay, just subbed, we'll check it out. Yeah, you should do so. I believe she said that she was going to unsub to my channel because Valeria's not here, but I promise she'll be here tomorrow. Let's see here. Bigfoot the Chipmunk wrote, I had some delicious Honduran coffee once, good enough that I drank it black. I'll tell you what, the Don Francisco coffee is from a family from Cuba. And so I don't know, I think they live in America now, but I don't know what their politics are. I don't know anything like that, but I do know two of my best friends have been Cuban in my life. One of whom I don't talk to as much anymore, but the brother, they're brothers. The one of whom is still one of my best friends, Jason. And these guys are staunch conservatives, like hardcore conservatives. Because when you come over from Cuba, because their dad came over from Cuba, when you come over from Cuba, you're like, to hell with communism, to hell with socialism. So a lot of Cubans are staunch conservatives. I don't know if these Don Francisco people are staunch conservatives, but it's likely. I think it's very likely if they're here in America, because I don't think it's imported from Cuba. I think that it's here in America from Cuban immigrants. I have to check on that though. What's that coffee they wrote? Independence wrote. It's called Don Francisco, and it's Hawaiian hazelnut. Get the Hawaiian hazelnut blend. That's the one I drink. John Buttjack writes, my real life name is John, but I go by Jack, ergo John Buttjack. Okay, not trying to be dirty, just a nickname I acquired in high school. John Buttjack. Okay, got it. You know, my brother's name is John, and he named his son Jack because he at one point in his life he found out that Jack was short for John, and he thought that was cool, so he named his kid Jack. In fact, I think the kid's name is John, but they call him Jack, which is funny because when I was a kid, I wrote my first ever screenplay. And it was a futuristic screenplay, which was set in the future. And one of the things about the futuristic world was this sort of advancement in computers and how that was all voice activated, which is now actually true. You can do that with your phone and everything. But at the time it wasn't. I wrote this in 1995 or something like that, back when like the idea of voice activation was just sort of a dream. But in this script, everything was voice activated, and you would name your interface. So you didn't have necessarily like a hard drive at home. You had an interface that you could access anywhere. So you could access it on like if you had a pen that was like essentially your phone, you could interface with that. Or if there was like an ATM, you could interface with your own computer there. Or at like a restaurant, instead of a menu, you just have your interface and you could talk to your personal computer, and it just did everything for you. And people named their computers, and my character's computer was named Jack. And so I came up with this name Jack as a sort of sidekick computer, sort of like Kit from that what was it, Knight Rider. And so Jack's sort of been the name of in my head for many years. And then my brother names his kid Jack. He never knew about any of that stuff, and I thought that was kind of funny, interesting coincidence. Okay, Brett the Illustrator writes, what did you think of Biden's answer to the gun? I imagine you mean the gun question. Answer to the gun. Answer to the gun. I assume you meant the gun question. This is a tough one because I don't know what you mean. I would love to be able to answer this intelligently, but I don't quite know what you're asking. Sorry, man. Bigfoot the Chipmunk writes, makes me think of my dad's joke. I like my women like my coffee, hot and black. I've said I like my coffee like my men, Irish and full of liquor. I love that joke. That's great. Yolanda Krieger says, I'm going to buy some of that coffee. Please do. It's amazing. It's amazing. Cord Oliver says he likes his women like I like my coffee, strong and hot. I like my women like I like my coffee, weak and subservient. So, I don't know why that was funny to me. That's a really stupid joke. All right, guys. Oh, yes, the gun question, it wouldn't fit. Okay, the gun question during the conference. What did he say? What did I read about it, but I don't remember what he said exactly because I didn't watch the whole interview. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I read about a lot of the questions. I don't remember what the question was or what the response was. Let's see. I'm nice to catch you live. Thanks, you Dabster McDabberton. Nice to see you here. Nobody's telling me what the gun question was. Let me just look it up real quick. That's why not? Why not? It's easy, right? Biden gun press conference. Okay, let's see here. Gun reform after the Boulder thing. Well, okay, I know he's been talking about this Boulder thing and how he's going to try to do this gun reform stuff, but I always think this is pandering. We talked about this yesterday on the show. President Joe Biden said Tuesday he would do everything in his power to keep Americans safe following the latest blah 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 blah. Did this come out today? Oh, this is from like 2 days ago. That's not right. Let's see here. All right. I don't know. I can't find it. I can't find what the question was about the gun stuff. He wants to come and get your guns. Yeah, well, we know that. But here's the thing. I don't... Oh, that's right. That's right. He was asking about gun control, and he gave an infrastructure question, infrastructure answer. Well, I saw a number of these when I was reading the different questions and answers that he got. I noticed a number of non sequiturs, right? Like when he was asked about if his policies were attracting immigrants to come into the country, he said, "We're going to get Kamala Harris to head up that whole issue." What the hell does that have to do with that? That doesn't have anything to do with the question. He also said that Donald Trump let kids starve in Mexico, which isn't true. I mean, what an a-hole, honestly. Yeah. Yeah, seriously, where is the lady? Dabster McDabberton. She is driving home from work, so she didn't quite make it today, but yeah. No, I'm doing good. We'll have, you know what, it's tough because, so doing these videos, I found it's actually a little bit more difficult to get Mr. Reagan videos out. I have tons of scripts that are half written because I just don't have that much time in the day. I have to prepare this show. I shoot the show, and then I have to, depending on what videos I'm going to be posting on Mr. Reagan, I have to find videos, cut them down, do research on those, clean those up, put them on Mr. Reagan, and those are just the videos I'm taking from this show. The videos that I do originally for Mr. Reagan, they take a lot of time to research and then to produce and to edit. So I'm trying to get help. I'm trying to get more people on board, but that'll probably happen in the weekend. So we're kind of ramping up the production. I want to be able to do more videos for Mr. Reagan, and so hopefully we'll have more stuff. But again, I'm not making that much money. So Valeria has written here, I drove to Malibu to pick up Alex. This is one of her good friends. He's gay, don't worry about it. And he got wrapped up and is he's screwed out there in Malibu. It was a mess on set. I'll explain to you when I get back. I don't think she meant for me to read that out loud on the show, but that's her situation. All right. Well, guys, we're going to be back tomorrow. Valeria will absolutely be back tomorrow, which is great. And we will see you then. Thank you for watching. Another great show. A lot of great news going on. And, obviously, I'm toxic. Valeria, although she's not here, is masculine. And together we are toxic masculinity. All right. So let's hit the outro and get out of here. See you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Toxic masculinity.